Well, hello. So today I'm going to talk about someone that maybe you've never heard of. I had never heard of him before this, but I want to talk about this guy and I'll explain to you why. And I want to know if you think he is a narcissist or if you think he's simply Enneagram 8. So there's a man named Kevin Samuels who went viral because he told a woman who zoomed in on his YouTube channel for relationship advice that she was average at best. The woman had made six figures for 3 years in a row with her dog business, which is something most people will never achieve. In that sense, how is she average? She seemed like a nice lady. I'd never heard of this man before, but people were outraged by his insensitive and opinionated comments to this woman, while others praised him for telling her what they considered the truth based on her looks. How do you feel about this comment? Do you think it was right or wrong, or would this lift or break your spirit if someone told you you're average at best? Comment below and let me know how you feel. For me, this is what narcissists do. How does it benefit me to make someone else feel bad unless I feel bad about myself and need someone else to feel bad in order to be superior? Narcissists need people to feel inferior because it gives them a sense of grandiosity. This is a lane that a man should never travel, whether you're a narcissist or the asserter on the Enneagram or just an average normal guy. Based on what you've heard, am I judging too harshly by saying narcissistic bells are ringing? Or could this so-called fashion consultant or whatever his job title in that category is simply telling it like it is? Saving this woman from heartbreak down the line, setting her up for something she will quote unquote never be able to attain because of her so-called looks. Personally, I think his comments are absurd and audacious, but I'm coming from an ENFJ Enneagram 4 point of view. Let's look at the Enneagram 8 and try to make a fair assessment. Enneagram 8s are often called the asserter or the challenger. They can be aggressive and assertive when need be. They have a low tolerance for being used or manipulated. They're direct, honest, and upfront about how they feel and what they are about. They can be nonconformist. A great way to garner their respect is to stand up for yourself. They can be very protective of people who they care about. Enneagram 8s will fight for what is right. Some people take offense at their bluntness. There's a certain protocol generally when it comes to men and women. It doesn't mean that all men follow it, but most do. They will hold the door for you and show a certain respect. For me, it is off-putting to hear the way this man speaks to women. There's something about it that doesn't sit right with me. I recently watched a couple of his YouTube videos. You know how you're trying to make something right in your mind? You're listening to someone and you're trying to make it make sense, but something doesn't feel right. That's how I feel sometimes with narcissists. Sometimes they can make a lot of sense, but there's a bad feeling lurking in the background that doesn't resonate. That's not normal. You're trying to place the person in a schema that is normal and makes sense, or that fits in the realm of what's normal protocol, because you can't believe that someone doesn't fit into that degree or way of thinking. It's also confusing because some of the things they say can be valid, helpful, and truthful. He may not be a narcissist, but I listened to women call in and they either became very offended at him or they sounded like they were trying to hide their tears. He made hurtful and sensitive comments to women over and over and over again. I'm always confused by why someone would volunteer for a whipping. Based on previous callers, I was amused at how many women believe that their phone call to him for advice or help would be any different. But that's typical of how people respond to narcissists. They kind of get in the ring even though they know they're going to get beaten down. It was interesting that they thought they wouldn't be trampled upon. You know, the person is going to make you feel like an idiot because of their perspective on things doesn't align with that of a woman. Most women don't agree with his way of thinking, even though they sort of accept it as the right thing because maybe they haven't had good male role models. But most healthy men do not think the way this man thinks either, which is why I'm compelled to think he might be a narcissist. Women have been through a lot through the years, and I believe they deserve respect for what their bodies go through and the enormous role that they play in our society. So, for woman after woman, call after call, to be admonished for their collective beliefs on how a woman should be treated or for what she wants in a relationship, which is to be treated well and loved and cherished, what's wrong with that? And equally valued and important, shouldn't that be okay? So, isn't it weird that somebody would beat them down for that perspective? What human being should be mistreated or accept crap from anyone? After a couple of videos, I couldn't watch anymore. What often happens is the more you listen to someone who doesn't make sense, whose opinions and values don't sit right, if you keep listening, the more familiar you become with their thought process and the more you start to normalize it. And I don't want to become comfortable with his train of thought. I felt uneasy listening to him, and I've learned to pay attention to that uneasiness and not dismiss it, not argue with it. I think he does a lot of damage to women. Although a lot of people defended his train of thought, telling the woman that she was average at best, when beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and he'd only spoken to the woman for a few minutes and made a personal value judgment that she should accept the fact that partnering with an amazing romantic partner would be nearly impossible for her based on her looks is completely unacceptable. I'm not saying that every woman is perfect. There are women, female narcissists also. But women over the years have experienced substantial verbal abuse, sexist behavior, and profound humiliation by people like this. Bullies like him often do not know what it feels like to be treated in such a manner because it is unacceptable in our society for someone to look at him and tell him, "Sir, you're not that attractive. In the looks department, you're about a 3. Your personality is off-putting at best. There's not much likable about you, but you stand out and people watch you because most people were taught not to put people down the way that you do, especially to women who bring life into this world." I'm not saying this guy is a 2 or a 3 because I would not do that. But doesn't the Bible say, "Do not judge lest ye be judged"? I interpret that as if you're calling someone ugly, it brings attention to you, and we can't help but judge his outer appearance because that's what he's doing to her. I would expect someone who has the audacity to tell someone they're not attractive, which is incredibly low, and the height of disrespect, to be undeniably handsome and charming. That's what I would expect. Like, if you have the audacity to say that, you must be incredibly good looking. People like this with the narcissistic tendencies who dish it cannot take it, which is why they throw out such venom to mask the internal low self-worth that is masked within them. I listened to one of his videos where he repeatedly tried to convince women to not want a certain treatment by a man. He hung up in their faces, reduced them to tears, and made them feel badly for wanting to be treated with love and care when it came to a certain things. What's wrong with that? By the time he finished, I started to feel confused. Like, I can't believe this man is questioning why women want what they want. If he was admonishing them for wanting a millionaire when their own credit was horrible, I could understand that. I think demanding more than what you are is a reach. But if you get it, it's a blessing. But this guy wasn't making sense, and he frustrated caller after caller with his backwards thinking. These are the kind of people who become famous and are followed by many people, the ones that hurt people. I wrote a book about these people called The Workplace Narcissist by Tamara Zyon, in which I talk about these people because while people are praising him for telling the quote unquote truth, which the lady was a nice looking lady, I want people to get real and at least face the truth about who these people are. They should feel badly about themselves, but instead, they make you feel like you're the one with the problem. That's unacceptable. We gotta stop letting people do us that way. Some people defend him because they say women should be told the truth. Everyone should be told the truth because it's loving and caring. I know a lot of people respect the truth and don't like sugarcoat. That's fine. But I don't think there's any woman on earth that wants someone to insinuate that they're ugly or unattractive. How does that make a man who is thought of by many as the protector and provider in the relationship feel? And I hope he doesn't treat women who are in a romantic relationship with him the way he treats the women who call into his show, because it's off-putting, unattractive, and unacceptable behavior. Relationships are supposed to feel good. Yes, they have problems and involve compromise, but no one should have to walk on eggshells wondering when the next personal insult is gonna come. We should focus our energy on lifting each other up and not putting each other down. So my conclusion after watching the entire video was that this guy is a narcissist for sure. If he is Enneagram 8, he is on the low functioning end, because you can be low functioning on any Enneagram type, but a high functioning, normal ranged asserter 8 would not have time nor be lacking in confidence the way that this man is. They wouldn't have the need to berate or put somebody down for silly, stupid reasons. From the beginning of the video, this man breaks this woman down on every little thing that she says, that she does, and she doesn't do or say anything mean or wrong to him. At the end of the video, she finally says, "Wow, you're being so mean," and he curses her out. So, narcissist. If you're having difficulty with people like this, you definitely want to check out my book. It's on Amazon, and it will definitely help you with like this. Everyone needs to be able to recognize people like this so that we can put a stop to this type of behavior. Perplexed by how our brains can shift and begin to justify this type of behavior. And part of it is we don't know what to do when someone comes at us like that, because it's not the norm. We're kind of defenseless because we've been taught to respect people and expect the same in return. So be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.